This week's podcast is brought to you by Tracy's National Night Out. Join us Tuesday, August 4th from 5 to 8 p.m. at Central Park in Tracy. The evening will include a free will donation hamburger or hot dog meal, music, foam slide pad, and inflatables. The scavenger hunt starts July 28th. National Night Out, Tuesday, August 4th. Stronger together, safer neighborhoods.
Welcome to the 54th Headlight Hot Seat, and we are joined today by Mr. Jeremy Trulock from Maryland Agency here in Tracy. We're not going to talk about insurance today, though, because, no offense, Jeremy, but this is not the most fun, sexy topic. So
That's correct.
thanks for joining us today, buddy.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So everyone knows the Trulock name, of course, but let's get to know Jeremy a little bit.
Well, I guess I grew up here my whole life. I graduated from Tracy High School in 1998, and then never moved away. So I've been involved in a lot of things here in town, committees, and I guess I'm pretty proud to call Tracy home.
And your family.
Yeah, my parents.
Pretty big family.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive family as well.
My parents moved here in 1968, right before the tornado. And my dad was a longtime teacher and wrestling coach. My mom did daycare in town and in the country for 36 years. So all my two brothers and my sister, we were all raised here and went through the school system here. So,
you know, we talk about you mentioned you're a lifer here, and you never left, and we always talk about the importance of Tracy kids coming back. Your siblings Eric's here,
yep,
but he left for a while, didn't he?
he did. Yep,
And Tammy, of course, is not around, and neither is Jim.
yep. Jim's in Clare City. Jim just retired, and then Tammy is in the cities. So
Cool. I think it's cool that you made this your home, and not only that, but you have made an impact. You continue to make an impact here, which is what small towns need. I think that's something I share that pride with you that I'm able to do that. So that's pretty cool. Speaking of all the stuff you do, you are the gambling manager at the Tracy Eagles Club. So how are things going over there these days?
good. We're busy. There's the club is always busy, and which means the gambling is busy as well. And people
Charitable
might
gambling. We have to preface this by saying charitable gambling.
charitable gambling.
Yes.
That's correct.
We don't want to, they're gambling.
Right. And and a couple things people might not know about that is it's not just at the Eagles. We have I'm in charge of the sites at Benton's Roadhouse, the Tracy Lanes, and the Tracy Country Club. So we have 4 different establishments that we run charitable gambling out of. And last year we'd given in the community, we gave just shy of $80,000 away to different organizations. And this year we're set to do well over 100,000 in donations to, like I said, different organizations and groups and schools and churches. So it's a lot of work, but it's so nice to be able to hand people a check that aren't expecting it.
You say it's a lot of work. What goes into it? The behind the scenes stuff, I don't think people understand. There is a lot of work into it. It's not just you have these pull tabs, for example, in a box. It falls on you, doesn't it, to do the collections and keep everything in order?
Correct. Yeah, it's the Minnesota Gambling Control Board is relentless. There's no give or take a penny anywhere. So everything's got to be spot on, and there's a monthly audit. But every game's got to be accounted for. Every ticket has to be accounted for. So there's a lot of check marks that needs to be done before the monthly audit.
And you're also, obviously, the Trulock name is pretty much synonymous with wrestling. I would say there's only a few names in town you can say that. You can say Trulock, you can say Campbell. Who else would there be that? Those 2 names always stand out. When you hear those 2 last names, you think wrestling. Go back to your youth. Obviously, you were a kid wrestler, little tyke wrestling. Just how did you fall in love with that at such a young age and know that this is what I'm going to be doing for the next decade plus.
Well, and I don't know if it's not like we didn't have a choice, but it was kind of, we're going to do it with Dad as the coach. And of course, both brothers wrestled as well. And it was something that I enjoyed. So yeah, wrestled from basically kindergarten until my senior year. And then from there, I had a passion still for it. So I was able to be one of the coaches for quite a while and a volunteer coach. And then eventually I was the chairman of the wrestling board. And I was really involved with a lot of the activities and I'd help book the trips to Bemidji and stuff like that. But last couple years, I had to give a few things up. So I stepped away from that role, but still involved in, the meets and everything, help run the scoreboard.
What is it about wrestling? I think I talked to Carl about this when I had him on for a wrestling preview for the last school year. I don't think there's another sport where it not only does it get in your blood and really hook you, but it's a family thing too.
It is.
What is it? Is it just because it's such a rough sport? It takes the dedication and commitment that other sports really, no offense to them, but you got to be all in all the time with wrestling, doesn't it? Is that part of this whole thing, this culture?
Yeah, I think so. And there's no other sport that you can two individuals can go out in a mat and kick the crap out of each other for 6 minutes and then become lifelong friends. Mm-hmm. And then you sit there and you spend all day at these tournaments on Saturdays, and you're in the bleachers and the family's in the bleachers, and everyone knows each other by the time that one tournament is done. And I think that's where you gain a lot of family.
And I think there's a lot of respect too. And the cool thing about wrestling is, and I'm not a huge wrestling guy. I was basketball in high school, and wrestlers made fun of us back then. We were pumpkin heads, and they always challenged us. And I never accepted any challenge from the likes of John Campbell or Brian Richardson because they would pretty much kick our butt. But when you talk about wrestling and the culture, it's these kids know each other so well, and the coaches know the opponent's kids.
Right.
I mean, really well. How important is that in wrestling to know that, okay, this guy's going to go up against so-and-so. They know so well each other, don't they?
They do. I mean, like I said, they probably wrestle each other or see them wrestle. I would say, at least six times every year. Mm-hmm. Because nowadays we don't really have the individual tournaments anymore. Everything is team based, and everything's it's not just a single dual match anymore. They're tries and quads, and so you're constantly seeing your opponents everywhere.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the fun stuff. Not that wrestling isn't fun, but we're going to talk rodeo today with Jeremy. Another thing that the name Trulock is quite synonymous with. I know your dad has been in it for a long time. Let's start with your younger days. You were a rodeo clown.
I was.
And I'm sure you can feel it still to this day, the bumps and bruises and I'm not going to tease you about your injuries because I was thinking the other day that either you or Drew Larson are the most frequent flyers in emergency rooms.
Well, and you can throw George Hebig into that group
George,
too.
Yes. Yeah, and George has some years on you too. That's a good point. When did you start being a rodeo clown and why?
Well, I tried to ride bulls for a while.
Okay.
And I found out I was really bad at that because I think maybe I had a little ADHD problem, and you got to really concentrate. And I'd be riding a bull, and I'd see someone run by, and I'm like, "Oh, nope, here you go, getting bucked off now." And
as a cute girl walking by.
Yeah, right. And then so then one day I just started bullfighting, and I enjoyed that too. But I had the opportunity at one rodeo. The rodeo clown didn't show up, and they said, "Hey, Jeremy, would you consider giving this a go?" And I did it, and I really didn't know, my purpose for I'd been to so many rodeos and I know what the rodeo clown does, but I didn't know like the timing and when you should tell a joke and whatnot. And so I had a good friend down in southern Iowa who was a rodeo clown, and he kind of mentored me for a little while and gave me some pointers. And then I rodeoed. I was a rodeo clown, I guess, for another 10 years before I got hurt at a rodeo and kind of ended that career. But if my body was physically able to do it, I would still be doing it. I really enjoyed it, and I traveled to so many places and met so many great people in the rodeo committees. And
Is there an age when like, is there a window when a guy can be a rodeo clown? Like, okay, I'm 30 years old, I'm done. Or is that just
I
you
don't
listen
think
to your
so.
body,
Yeah, I think
basically?
you listen to your body more than anything. And there's really, I mean, we used to have a rodeo clown come to Marshall, and he was a retired school teacher. So he did it for well into his 60s.
Oh, really?
So, and he was really good. And but yeah, I mean, you got to be in good shape, and your body's got to be able to maneuver and do things that the typical person wouldn't be doing every day.
How did you get hurt? What did you hurt that first time?
We were in Rochester, Minnesota, at a bull riding, and there was a bull in the chute that the cowboy was getting ready to take his ride, and then there was another bull that they were trying to put his get him ready to buck out, and that was closer to me. And the contractor asked if I'd come over and help tie a rope over top of the chute, because sometimes when they hit that, they'll stop jumping and moving around. And anyway, the furthest chute, I heard the gate crack open, and the bull bucked the cowboy off, and I watched the bull leave the arena out of the center gate. So I went back to tying this rope with the contractor, and then I heard everyone screaming, and I looked out the corner of my eye, and that bull had come back out of the out gate, and he reached up and hooked me with his horn in the back of my knee, and at the same time, the bull that I was tying the rope up in the chute stuck his horn out of the gate and hooked the inside of my knee.
Same knee.
Yep, and so it just snapped it right in half. So
You got gored in the same knee.
yeah,
Basically.
Yep. So I've had 6 surgeries on this knee since then.
So speaking of injuries, is it more danger or more fun, or is it a little column A, a little column B?
It's more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're not supposed to get hurt, but I guess when you're messing in the ring with a 1-ton animal with horns, there's a good possibility of it. And,
A mean one.
right, and they don't mean to be mean, but I was just in his way, I guess.
Yeah, that's their nature. I mean,
Right.
They're an aggressive, wild. I can call them wild animals,
Yeah,
aren't they? They're
yeah,
wild animals.
yeah. They're definitely not tame.
And did you keep doing it after that? After
I did.
recovery?
I did. Well, yeah, there was really no recovery. I couldn't have. I was contracted out for 7 more rodeos because it was in the fall, so I had 7 more to do. So, went to the orthopedic doctor. They created a really good brace, a sturdy brace for me, and I was able to finish the other 7 shows that year, but wasn't able to do a lot of the jumping around and entertaining I would normally do. And the difference between the cowboys and the bullfighters, they all wear protective gear. I don't wear anything because I'm constantly moving around. I'm up in the stands, and the only protection I would ever had is if I jumped in my barrel. So
there is no injured list.
no.
So you just got fixed up and you went back out. No, I mean, you had a contract and
That's
you
correct.
had to fulfill that contract.
Yeah, yep. So I had a contract with a certain group organization, and they did say that hey, if this doesn't work, we understand, but it was all right. My parents went with me on that night. It was a 3-day run. We were in Lamar's, Iowa, and Owatonna, Minnesota, and then the last night in Rochester. And they went because when we were in Lamar's, they both went to college there, so they were able to see some of their dad's old wrestling coaches and some other people. We went to Owatonna, and they met up with a family that mom used to do daycare.
Okay.
And then we went to Rochester, and they met good friends, the Tom and Linda Queasley, old teacher and wrestling coach here in Tracy as well. So they went with me on that 3-day run, and I'm glad they did because there's no way I would have been able to drive my motorhome back that night. But it was I laid in the back. I'd never ridden in the back of my motorhome, and it was like I was in a spaceship back there. I don't know what was more miserable, my knee or wondering if we're gonna make it home in that thing.
Did you get a lot of like painkillers and no?
No, I can't handle any type of painkiller. The only thing I can do is maybe some ibuprofen
Really?
from time to time. So
Just suck it up.
yeah, I don't know what, but I hallucinate real bad with the painkillers.
That might be one reason to take them.
No,
We are not promoting drugs.
no, absolutely not.
Say no. You're still involved with the rodeo, obviously, in a much less dangerous role, I might add.
Correct.
A major supporter of the PRC rodeo. And with the fair right around the corner, let's talk about this 2-day event. It's August 13th and 14th at 7 p.m. at the Lyon County Fairgrounds. And I go there on one of the days every year, and I am blown away by the crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, if you take that rodeo away, you take, God, half the fair, more than half the fair away.
Right.
What is the draw?
I think it's just something that that you don't. Once a year that this comes to town, and it's something that I think first of all, it's a great family event.
Yeah.
There's nothing PG-13 about this. I mean, and I think people like to see the live action. Guys riding broncs and bulls and I think it's just we see so many repeat families every year. So I think it's just something that they know they're going to do.
And for the guys, it's a competition 100% because this is their living, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they earn money, but for the crowd, it's a show. It's entertainment.
Yep.
And you know that very well, being a former rodeo clown. So the current rodeo clowns, what is their role? Or yours too, going back back in the day. Is it kind of like keep the crowd into it and laughing and entertained while they're setting up for the next run? Or
Yeah, exactly. It's keep the crowd entertained the entire show. You can't go hardly anywhere anymore for a great live event that for 2 hours for $13 and $15.
Yeah.
You can't do anything. I don't know. I haven't been to a concert for years, but I can't imagine what tickets for concerts are right now.
You can't even go to a movie in the theater for that.
Exactly. So, I mean, and I think that's part of it too. I mean, we have so many great sponsors that we've been able to keep that price low for as long as I can remember.
Is it one of the lower that you've seen?
Absolutely.
Is it?
Yeah, I think Granite Falls is up to because Granite would be the next closest PRC rodeo, and I think they're up to $20 or $25 a ticket now.
Okay.
So, but yeah, back to the rodeo clown's purpose is if there's any dead spots, maybe one of the horses they're having problems getting them loaded or whatnot, then you've got to pay attention. You've got to realize, okay, here I need to do something right now. There's no what should I do?
Yeah.
So and then they're required to have some acts as well. So
You got to be on point, basically.
Absolutely.
And not just kind of watching like you used to do when you rode.
Right.
You watch people go by, you get bucked off.
Yep.
You can't just kind of lose yourself in the moment. You have to always be the entertainer, don't you?
Yes, that's correct. I mean, and yeah, you've got to be paying attention to the announcer. You got to be paying attention to them loading the chutes or getting ready to rope a calf, and you got to be paying attention to the crowd as well, because you can always spot your next victim that you want to have some fun with, maybe. So,
And that's great. And you got to have a nice sense of humor too, and hopefully the crowd reciprocates. And I'm sure it's self-deprecation. You make fun of someone, or
Right.
deprecation of others, I should say. And I gotta assume that, like wrestling, rodeo is kind of a culture too, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and I've always compared that. I said wrestling families are and rodeo families are, these guys travel together. They're at every rodeo together, and some of the best bull and bronc riders were wrestlers. And
Oh, okay.
yep, I mean, so see these kids from Kyle Bloomquist from the Clare City area. He's a big name in bronc riding. Tanner Oz from Granite Falls, a big, huge name in bronc riding. So that, like I said, I've always compared the rodeo and wrestling as the same kind of people.
Yeah, that's very cool. And that's probably why you love both so much.
Right.
Because you appreciate that. Let's talk horses. Probably, I don't know if you've got any injuries from your horse riding days, but you continue to do that much safer than what you used to do in the ring. But when did this love of horses develop with you?
I grew up riding horses from before I started wrestling even. I think Dad had me on a pony when I was 3-4 years old when we were riding. And Dad had horses, and so I have always grown up with them. And I used to do a lot of training. I did a lot of showing, and now it's just more relaxing and going out to Garden Park and go trail riding with them. We've gone to the Black Hills quite a few times, and that's my getaway time when I need a weekend off, and I just go out there, and hopefully my phone never rings. And
Just leave your phone.
right.
Don't even bring it with
well, the
you
nice
here.
thing about down in Garden Park, there's not good reception.
Yeah, right.
So
It doesn't matter anyway.
but yeah, I still there's a group of us friends that get together once a month for 3 days out at Garden Park, and we trail ride. And we were just there a couple weeks ago, and it was so hot, like it is right now. And we just said, you know what, we don't feel like riding this afternoon. We got up early and went for a ride at 6:30 or so, and the afternoon it was so hot. And I said, let's grab our chairs and let's go put them in the river and sit in the river.
Oh, yeah.
And we did that for a couple hours, and that was just as much fun. And
Very cool.
so,
So once again, the PRC Rodeo is at the Lyon County Fairgrounds for the Lyon County Fair on August 13th and 14th. 2 nights. That's a Thursday and Friday, right?
that's correct.
Okay. Why don't they do it on Saturday? Is that Demolition Derby night?
Yeah, and we it is Demolition Derby night, but we have we got to compete with other rodeos.
Okay.
So we do Thursday and Friday because a lot of them are that weekend are Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And and when I say compete is we need to have the competitors come to us.
Right.
I think a lot of people don't know. They think, oh, we just put up some arena panels and then hopefully people come. We've been working the grounds for weeks now. We've been getting sponsors since January, and something that the people that attend it might not know that rodeo costs us $50,000 to come in for 2 days.
Wow.
And then we, on top of it, our committee gets sponsorships to add the added money. So we add another $27,500 in to get the contestants to come. So that's something that people probably don't ever realize. And so that's when we go out and solicit sponsors. That's what that money is going to, so we can put on a show like this. We ran into that problem a few years ago where we didn't have the contestants. We had the crowd. We just didn't have any good. I shouldn't say good. We didn't have qualified contestants. They were amateurs at the best, and they weren't pro. And so we sat down with the committee, and I said, we're not going to ever do this again. We need to increase our added money to get the contestants to come. And the following year, after we did that, they did show up, and they continue to come, and they like coming to our rodeo because, I mean, we wine them and dine them. We've got chiropractors, we've got hospitality tent, and so it's they don't.
It's red carpet treatment.
Yeah, we like to say so anyway.
When you talk about amateur and pro, do fans recognize that how would they pick up on that?
Yeah, I mean they would have to know rodeo pretty well to find out that it's not amateur and pro and there's a lot of amateur riders and a lot of amateur stock that you wouldn't even be able to tell the difference. But yeah, some of these riders, it's night and day difference.
Okay. You mentioned about prepping the grounds. What is that? What goes into that? What's a perfect ring?
So
as
you
far as
want
the
to
surface?
have a nice clay base, and then you want to have about 4 inches of sand in there with no rocks.
Okay.
And so we work hard on this on our grounds every year. We bring more sand in every year just to keep it maintained. And then after the rodeo, the demolition derby group comes in and they push all that sand and clay in to make a wall all the way around the arena.
That's why you do the rodeo first.
That's correct.
For sure.
So, and then, we had all that rain last year.
Mm-hmm. I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Does the rain, it affects you, of course,
Yeah.
but is it like, okay, it's too muddy, we're not going to do it?
No, the thing about rodeo is the show's always going to go on. The only time we'd cancel, of course, would be lightning or tornado or anything. But nope, these contestants, they know they're coming, and the nice thing about it is they all have to compete in the same kind of ground.
Sure.
So it's not like, oh, that wasn't fair.
Mm-hmm. It's all equal.
Yep. So
Cool. I can't wait for the rodeo this year. The fair can be long for me because it's always hot, and then okay, you got to hit the 4-H, and that's fun. The kids are great, and you got to take pictures of the midway. And I always look forward to the rodeo because for a photographer, it's challenging because these guys move fast.
Yep.
Or the guys don't move fast. The animals underneath them do, but it's so rewarding for me. And I've talked to my fellow colleagues around who also have shot rodeo, and they all say it's the best sport to shoot.
yeah,
It's just so much fun. The light, it's outside, which is great for photographers, but just the action shots you get, the facial expressions you get, if your timing is good. I mean, it takes a little talent to shoot rodeo. It's not easy for
No.
sure. And you don't whip out your phone and take a good rodeo shot typically.
right.
These guys are moving. All right, let's get into some fun stuff. It's trivia time here on the hot seat. And Jeremy's a little nervous about this, but that's okay. I have 5 questions. I have 2 categories and 5 questions.
Okay.
One category is random. I always have a random one in there. And because I customize my trivia questions to my guest, the other category is horses.
Okay.
I have a feeling I know what Jeremy's going to pick. But go ahead, Jeremy. What do you want?
I'll do the
This
horses.
is the horses. Now, you could have egg on your face. 'Cause you know horses well, but if you get these wrong, it might be a little embarrassing for you.
Right.
Here we go. Question number 1. What is the term for a horse's male counterpart?
Say that again.
What is the term for a horse's male counterpart? So a male horse or a female horse.
Well, a gelding or a stud would be the male, and then a mare would be the female.
Okay. Got it right. No surprise. What is the name for a young horse under 1 year old?
A colt or a filly.
I got foal.
Foal.
Is that
It could be a foal because a colt would be the male, a filly would be the female, but a foal it would be universal.
I'll give it to you. 2 for 2. What is a horse's age typically measured by?
Their teeth.
3 for 3. It's too easy. Number 4. What type of horse is often used in rodeos and is known for its speed and agility?
Quarter horse.
God, I should have did harder ones. This is a cakewalk for you. All right, you might be the first guest to go 5 for 5. This is historic. What is the name of the space located between a horse's ears?
The forelocks.
Okay, that might be right because I'm not a horse guy, but my in-depth research on the internet used the word pole.
Oh, yeah.
P-O-L-L.
That's correct. Yeah. The pole would be the center point of the ears. That's right.
I don't know what I should do, if I should give you that one or not.
No, I
What
didn't
did you
get that
say?
one. Well, the forelocks would be right down there too, but no, the
Okay.
pole would be the correct answer.
So that wasn't a trick question?
No, that wasn't.
4 for 5. Not bad, not bad. Jeremy, you are off the hot seat. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Pear.
This week's podcast was brought to you by Tracy's National Night Out. Join us on Tuesday, August 4th from 5 to 8 p.m. at Central Park in Tracy. The evening will include a free will donation hamburger or hot dog meal, music, foam slide pad, and inflatables. The scavenger hunt starts July 28th. National Night Out, Tuesday, August 4th. Stronger together, safer neighborhoods.